Hell, when the president went to Ohio to discuss the economy, not a single high-profile Democrat in the entire state would be lured into attending. Can you imagine? Every one of them had something more important to do. They were washing their hair, checking their favorite TV show. They just couldn't make it. Tim Ryan running for Senate as a Democrat. Well, I'm really busy. They want to be as far away from this guy, the most politically toxic president in 150 years. You're hearing more and more Democrats across the nation taking the chance to openly criticize Joe Biden and his administration for the ongoing failures at every level of the dysfunctional White House. They know there's not a single thing to point to in an effort to defend what has happened to this country. Is just 18 months old and it's destructive. But senile Joe, he doesn't get it. He has no clue, I don't think, as to how badly the country looks at him as a whole. No idea. He is kept away from reporters, insulated from ever getting cornered by real questions because we can't have that. He would really freak out. I remember when George Washington and I crossed the Delaware. Yeah, of course you do, Joey. No questions on the biggest issues facing Americans, of course, like the economy, energy, and the exploding border crisis. Instead, the White House parades out anyone they can to gaslight the American people and the world, of course. Problem is, nobody's buying it anymore. Lifelong Democrat voters and independent voters that have been voting blue are trading that all in the most comprehensive rejection of socialist central planning policies ever. This will set back the efforts of the far-left radicals, maybe for a couple of generations and maybe forever, if we're fortunate, so that our grandkids and great-grandkids will never have to be burdened with this Marxist garbage. Let me give you some examples today of how the politicians and the media are rejecting Joe Biden and his puppet masters right across the board. All right, I want to start here. On Bloomberg TV, bite number 3. On Bloomberg TV, they've had enough of the dishonest blame game being played while inflation skyrockets, and it all starts with energy prices. This is long, but I want you to hear it. It's well worth it. Heather Bushi, she is an economic advisor to the Biden administration. She gets absolutely crushed here. All right, absolutely crushed here because she can't just tell the truth. Bite 3 again. Bite 3. Go.
Keep hearing that word fair. And you and I have had this conversation before. It sometimes makes it sound like something nefarious is happening in certain places. The president over the weekend said this: "My message to the companies running gas stations and setting prices at the pump is simple. This is a time of war and global peril. Bring down the price you are charging at the pump to reflect the cost you're paying for the product, and do it now." Jeff Bezos came out and tweeted the following. I'm sure you read it. "Inflation is far too important a problem for the White House to keep making statements like this. It's either straight ahead misdirection or a deep misunderstanding of basic market dynamics. I'm not going to accuse you of the latter. I want to talk about the former." Where's that messaging coming from?
The president has made clear that his number one goal is delivering for the American people. We are in a time of crisis. We are in a time of war where the president and our allies, we are supporting the Ukrainian people. Congress is engaged in this effort, both sides of the aisle, to say this is an important priority. And one of the consequences is this high price of oil because of global trends.
You didn't answer his important question. Everyone, Heather, everyone in the nation wants to know the answer to the question Mr. Farrell just asked you, which is who is advising the president on shockingly naive price theory over a gallon of gas?
So the president is not shockingly naive.
He's not? He's not shockingly naive because he's the one repeating it. And that wasn't the question either. Who is shockingly naive that's giving the president this advice? Yeah. Now to bite number 6. Hopeless, helpless Joe Biden. Continuing to fail selling the idea that we are going through some necessary transition by destroying the American energy sector and the economy as a result. Yeah. Bite number 6. Go.
When it comes to the gas prices, we're going through an incredible transition that is taking place that, God willing, when it's over, will be stronger and the world will be stronger and less reliant on fossil fuels when this is over.
I see. will destroy the American. We won't be relying on fossil fuels because we won't have an economy that needs fuel at that point. We'll be begging for food from Canada and Mexico. We'll be in food lines. You know, this American exodus leaving the United States right now for Mexico, you've probably heard about it because I've talked about it. It's so bad in California, people are fleeing south to Mexico because the conditions are better. Thank you, Joe Biden. Really well done. We're going to jump ahead here a little bit to bite 13. The American people are rejecting the worn-out attempts to blame Russia for Joe Biden's continuous failures, but it really is the only thing they seem to come up with over and over and over. What else do they have? I don't know, because they don't ever blame anybody else. It's bite 13. Go.
Why do you think it is that 88% of people in this country, polled by Monmouth, think the country is on the wrong track?
So I'll say this. The president understands what the American people are going through. He understands that gas prices are high because of Putin's tax hike, because of the war that the brutal war that Putin has taken on in Ukraine, and their brave fight for their democracy. That's what we're seeing here. And also the food insecurity, the food cost has skyrocketed. And that's why the president has done everything that he can to blunt those high prices.
So he understands how all of this works and how the American people are suffering. He doesn't understand how a paper airplane works. All right? So stop it. She is, by the way, she is just the worst. And I mean, Jen Psaki, I didn't like her much, but she was good at her job. She was good at her job. Kayleigh McEnany was good at her job. This woman's just terrible. I'm sorry, she's just awful at it. And they need a lot better. They need a lot better if they think they can get their message out anytime soon in an effective manner, because this isn't working, okay? All right, quick break. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.